Hey gang, so today's a bit of a 3-for-1 video. I don't normally do these, I don't like grouping things together, but ONO have waited long enough for me to get this review out, so I'm just gonna do them all together. They have sent through their 3 main products. So we have the roller, the scroller, and the slider. These are actually very interesting products. I've had a lot of time. I've had a little bit too much time. Sorry, ONO. But I've had a lot of time to play with them, and I think that always benefits a review, though. You want to kind of take your time with it to really get a sense of whether you like these things or not. I have thoughts, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get to my thoughts, because they're stuck in my head. Is this gonna work? It's the ONO Fidget series, I guess? Fidget? Yeah, Fidget series. Let's go with that. Let's go. Okay, here we go with the ONO family of fidgets. Now, these are they're all very, very different. Each one is completely different from the other. They all do very different things, and they are all intended to be silent, like almost completely silent. That is the purpose of their designs. They want something you can use anywhere, low impact. So just so you know, if you're getting these, don't expect a lot of haptic feedback. Don't expect really any audio feedback. These are silent fidgets. Now, let's start. Well, what do we have here? We have the roller, we have the scroller, and we have the slider. So let's put these other two aside first. Let's put them up here maybe. And let's just look at the roller. Now, this is aluminum. This was, I believe this was ONO's first product. And this is, I mean, this is what it does, right? You've probably seen, if you've never seen this type of fidget before, you've probably at least seen something like this in one of those kind of like gym kind of little workout equipment things you might get, where it's just something that, you know, maybe if there was tension on it, it would work at your forearm or something. I'm not crazy about this one, only because it's not for me. It's too big in my hand. Now, I know they have a smaller one. And so that might have been a better fit for me. I'm not sure. I just find this one too big. It's not the type of fidgeting that I like to do. This is obviously a very full grip fidget. I've tried doing it in meetings before, if I had like Zoom calls or something. And of course, the other thing I find with this is that, at least in a Zoom call, it's so big to manipulate that your whole arm kind of gives it away, right? Like if you're doing this on screen, your body's moving, trying to get this thing around. The other thing I find is with the size of it, my hand cramps up. My hand's already starting to get tired. And I think that's because, for me, there isn't any grip on here. And that's by design. Obviously, it's meant to just be a smooth roll. The issue I have is that I'm constantly adjusting my grip and my fingers to stabilize it. And because of that, I'm always doing these little micro movements in my fingers to try to keep it in place. So I don't know if that adds to sort of the cramping I get in my hand using it. I'm not sure. Again, maybe it's size, maybe it's a smaller one would be better. Again, this one is just not for me. Now I know, obviously, there are a lot of people out there that love these rollers. So that's not to say there's anything wrong with this. It's just, it's not for me, man. That's it. So that is the roller. I mean, very well constructed. This one is aluminum, but again, aluminum is typically kind of feels like a cheaper material. This one doesn't, which is good. It's got a good weight to it. It feels solid. I just find it's very kind of slippery. I feel like it's always going to slide out of my hand, so I'm always moving my fingers to try to catch it. So that is the roller. Let's put this one, you know what, this one's so big. I guess we'll put it right there. So this next one, which is the scroller wheel, is interesting. Now, there's some things I really like about it. I like the ergonomics of it. It fits well, you know, when you're holding it. It's almost like a worry coin. And it's a worry coin, but it's got this convex shape to it here that just rests nicely in your fingers. And you're just kind of rolling your thumb around the ball. Now, this to me is, I do, like, this is a very silent one. I've been using it on the couch. Again, I try to get, you know, I try to get used to fidgets when I'm using them. I want to give them enough time. to give them kind of a fair review. And so this does have this is a neat feature. This little just mindlessly sit and scrolling. Obviously, those of you that grew up when I did, when computers first came out, of course, all of our mice had these scroll wheels on the bottom. So in general, this is just a very it's a very pleasing feeling. I know a lot of people, I'm sure, love this. I wish there was a little bit of a tactile feedback from here. I'm not even sure how that would be achieved. But there is something when you're rolling the ball, there comes a point where you kind of, you almost forget you're rolling it. Like your finger almost forgets that it's moving something around. So I would love to have something just a little, I don't even know, like a little clicky or a little something just to give me a bit of a sensation that I'm moving this around. Now, of course, that changes the design, right? I have no idea how you would do that. Do you, instead of using these bearings or these ball bearings, do you etch something into the edges so that they click, they pick up something on the sides? I don't know. But again, the weight is really, really nice. It's got a really kind of comforting feeling to it. I think I would want it to be more for me. Again, because it's kind of fun, but I pick it up, I kind of play with it, and then I just sort of put it down. But again, I understand this is more of a silent thing. This is, again, you're using this on calls, you're using this on, in meetings, whatever. You could literally bring this into a meeting in front of people and just sit there and do this, and I doubt anybody would even really notice. So it is a good fidget. I think it actually has a lot of merit. I just tend to, I need more. I am drawn to things that have a bit more feedback to them. But for somebody that really needs absolute silence, this is actually quite good. The one gripe I have is you can see how it smudges so easily. And that's, of course, because of this kind of polished steel. I would love to see this in a blasted something. Anytime you've got these mirrored surfaces, just people with oilier skin will just leave prints all over the damn thing. And I find that if this is, if this is something that you bring to a meeting, right? Like if you're going to bring this out in public, because that's kind of what it's designed for, is to be able to use it in front of other people and not really disturb anybody. I don't think you want something to be loaded with fingerprints and stuff. So I would say this would be great if there was a sort of a non-shiny version of it. And I think, again, with these, it's just the slipperiness of them sometimes. You know what I mean? Like if it rolls around in your skin, and if there's no kind of grip against my skin, my fingers are constantly adjusting to, I mean, that literally just fell out of my hand. I didn't even mean for it to. But your hands are always kind of searching for a little bit of purchase on here. So I would love to see something with a bit of a matte finish maybe, so just not quite so slippery. Again, there could be reasons for this that I am totally unaware of. But the fun thing is they've also included this tool to open it up. Now, the other thing I should say too is this does come, by the way, in aluminum and titanium, and the titanium, the titanium does seem to have more of a matte finish. It's just they've sent this is the one I have, so unfortunately this is the only one I can review in terms of my experience with it. So again, just it's a bit too slippery, a bit too glossy. But what's cool is you get this tool that comes in the packaging so that you can open it up. And have a look inside. And really, you've got these Teflon, I'm assuming Teflon or whatever, whatever name is going to be used, but they're very Teflon-like rings inside, and you've just got this ball bearing, and you can open it up, you can clean it out if you want, give it a wipe, and that's it. Just pop it back in. So that's pretty handy that they've included that. I really, really like that. Just kind of the thoughtfulness of adding these, because these are custom pieces. So this is really tough to find a tool at home that will do this. Okay, so there we have the scroller. Again, it's a good piece. It's fun. If you look on the site, you can see, people do different things with it. I guess it is kind of designed to be a bit of a coin as well. I just, in this case, I just find this one a bit too slippery. Now, here is this is the one I have been using the most. This is the slider in aluminum. And this is really cool. Now, I will say at first, I was not happy with it. It felt weak to me. Like I was like, I don't know, man, the magnets are barely holding on. It doesn't really seem to offer much resistance. But the more I played with it, this to me kind of has that feel where when you have poker chips and you're just kind of like messing the poker chips around. The difference with this one is the poker chips kind of fall back to each other. If that makes any sense. They don't like slide out of your hand. So this is probably the loudest of their sliders, as you can hear. But it's very, very muted. They both have this kind of this concave, I guess concave, convex, not concave. I guess it depends on which way you're looking at it, right? But this shape so that it is kind of perfect to hold on to because it's got this, again, this really nice curve sits in your fingers and your thumb rests in here really, really well. And this kind of coin design is nothing new. We've seen a lot of these types of coins where you can just kind of like, push something around and they, whatever, but they're made out of metal. They're usually flat. This is different. This is very different from a coin. It's kind of its own category, really. I would not classify this as a coin. One, because it's too big to be a coin. And also, again, with this shape, with this curved shape in here, you get this really fun, neat kind of play. And it is very, very, what's the word? Like you are not thinking about it at all. Like it's just almost subconscious when you're playing with it. That's what all of these are. These are all very like subconscious. You're just sitting there and you're just kind of playing with this. You've got your little scroller and you're just sort of not really thinking about what you're doing. This is the unconscious or subconscious, but on steroids because there's a little bit of thought to it. You do have to kind of think about resetting it back into place. Man, that was a weird ramble. I don't even know what I was trying to say other than they're all just things that you don't really think about. You can just kind of play easily with, and there's no, there's not a lot of resistance, and that was by design. I did speak with the owner of ONO, and I did mention that I found this one a little weak, and that maybe it would be nicer to have a strong magnet in here. And he did say that it was by design to be kind of unstressful when you're using it, and they do stick. Like that's not going anywhere. They stick together. There's just something about. It feels like it could fly off, but it kind of doesn't. So what's going on here? Well, let's see if the light can catch it. Okay, so we have magnets, and you can see the indents. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if the light can catch this. 5, 6. So we got 6 magnets running around here. Now I did, we have screws here. I did unscrew these to see if I could open it up. I can't. Like the screws come out. This does not come off. So I'm not sure, maybe this is Loctite. I don't know. Maybe it was glued down and the screws are there for extra support. I'm not sure, but I could not figure out how to open it up. Now the one thing, because of the curve of this surface, it does make it challenging to lift the lid off and have the, if you were doing this, like, the magnets don't really make contact with the metal surface, so even if I was trying to take a lid off and keeping the magnets in place, that might have been a bit tricky. So that doesn't come off. At least I haven't been able to get it off. But what we can look at is the magnet under here. Now, how do we get into this very interesting opening? They've got these 2 little holes. Well, this slider comes with its own custom tool as well, and it's actually really, really cool. I mean, this isn't just a cheap little wire that you put in there. Like this is machined, I would think. it feels like this is aluminum, but I mean, this is a good little solid tool. So you just pop it in. They've got the holes in the O's for ONO. Nice little fun touch. And that's it. So in here, so we've got the little cap there. And there we've got our magnet. Just falls out. So that's it. One magnet. And obviously all that magnet is doing is moving around, right? So if you've watched any of my magnet video or anything, we know of course that because the magnet is sticking this way, the polarity is is going in the right direction in relation to the magnets on the other side. So this is how they stick together. So then I know that that top side has to go in first. So it has to go in like this. So I'm going to make sure I have this correct. And that's it. We close it up. And we're back. Are we back? Did I actually flip that over? Or did it flip when I popped it in? Let's try this. Put it on. I could have edited that out, but I mean, you know, there we go. All right, there. See that? As much as you think you know something, you can still make mistakes. There we go. So yeah, this is definitely, of the three, this is the one I tend to use the most. And this has this very kind of lazy, but sort of relaxing motion to it. Again, this is absolutely the loudest though. This is the loudest of their fidgets because it just has this little click. But it's really not much. I mean, you could go totally silent. And you do get haptic feedback when you're pressing. You just can't press super hard. All right, so that is the ONO product family. These are all built really, really well. This is, again, you know, as I always say, what's good for me may not be good for you and vice versa. So because something I find, if I don't connect with something, that doesn't mean you're not going to. It's my preference, right? So I know there are a lot of people out here that love every one of these, and I can understand why. I can also just say a couple of them just, they're not connecting with me, but just for you know, various reasons. The roller, I don't use. It's too big. The scroller, I just wish it wasn't in this shiny, slippery material. But again, I know they have other materials, so that's probably not an issue with like a titanium. And then this guy, the slider, is actually, this is a really neat new design. It's very different. This is a very different type of slider. So that's it, gang. Thanks for watching, and thanks to ONO for sending their stuff out.